What's up, Blasianers and Blasianettes? So, my countdown to Halloween is over. Like this year. So, we are on to the final chapter of the Scream trilogy. We are on Scream 3, and basically, the premise is where it all comes full circle. Like, where all the chips are down. Anyone can be picked off. Even Sidney Prescott, even she is not safe. Like, yeah. and it does um and it does, basically acknowledge you know, like the the premise of a trilogy. And it and again, we have a killer who doesn't really care about horror movies like that, like how, spoiler alert, how Billy Loomis did and Stu Marker, like how they did. Like, they basically hold a candle to like who loves horror movies the most, like which killers loves the horror movies the most, while every other killer, like from like Scream 2, like they had the two killers in those movies had their own agendas. And the killer in this movie has his own agenda. And it connects back to the very first one, like where you have to sort of, go, like take your sort of revisit your steps from the first one, to basically get to the present for this movie. And that's what I love about it, because when I saw the first movie, when I watch it, and then when Billy and Stu are revealed to be the killers, I felt like there was a third killer involved. Like, because when we last see the killer in full costume in the first movie, where he's trying to attack Sydney into the police car or whatever, and then he quickly disappears after she gets out of the car, and then we see Stu jump into the picture right away, and we notice how he's in his clothes. There's no way he could have changed out of his clothes that quickly to where he changed back into his green pants and shit. And Billy is still upstairs playing dead. So that's where you're thinking, okay. I was thinking this way before before this movie came out. Like, there had to have been a third killer involved in this. I don't know. That was just me. I don't know if you guys felt that. Okay, so I'm glad that the movie acknowledged that. You know, but yeah. When this movie came out, I was really really on board with the hype train. Everybody at my school, like at my high school, was just like all talking about, oh, Scream, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I didn't get a chance to really see it opening weekend, and like, everyone in my homeroom was just wouldn't stop talking about it. Like, so like when they're talking about some things in the third act, I'm like, what? I don't get what they're saying, but I'm just gonna go like, and so I did get around to seeing it, and I enjoyed the hell of it from beginning, middle, and end. Even though like, even though I did fail to mention that in the second movie, they decided to make movies based off of the murders, off of the Woodsboro murders, called Stab, and that's what the franchise is called in this story. And I'm surprised of how Sydney doesn't seem too affected by the idea that they're making movies based off of her, like her ordeals. You know what I mean? And I'm sure she didn't like that idea, and she just walked away. But she's just like trying to get on with her life. She's trying to get her life back, and like in Scream 2. And here she is trying to be as far away from everybody as possible. She is so detached. She lives like basically, like in her own, like on her own, like just far away from anybody. And she only stays in touch with Dewey, and also well, what else am I missing here? And then you have Gail Weathers, who seems just a little bit more redeemable than she was in the first two movies. You figure she learned her lesson in the first movie, but man, she clearly didn't. But and then in the second movie, when it comes down to where they have to face the killers together, it's like, okay, I guess she does have her shit together, or does she? She's not as self-centered in this movie than she was in the first two. And also and then we're on to like this is where they really focus on to the Stab movies into this one, because that's where you have to go to on the set while they're filming Stab 3, I think. And then that sort of shuts down the production when the killer decides to pick people off one by one. And one thing I do love is how the killer of this movie, you do not suspect who it is. It actually is. I mean, this killer does a fantastic job. Like when the mask is off, and then we see, like, okay, what like where they're blending into the suspects of people of who could it be. It's like, okay, I mean, this killer does a much better job than Billy Loomis did. I mean, Billy Loomis intended to get caught, you know, like the first time and so on and so forth. But I mean, like, it felt like the warning signs were there. Like, okay, this guy acts a little weird. He's a bit off, you know. and then you're thinking, okay, well, it can't be Billy. I mean, like, because they, you know, he was arrested and the killer called Sydney. You know, that's where they had two killers. But here, I like the fact that there's only just one killer here, just one. And the way he you know, copies everybody's voices, and it's like, wow, that's like a new thing. Like, wow. Like, and then that makes you wonder even further, like, who is the killer? Who is it? And then also, like, where it, you know, this killer literally fucks around with Sydney's trauma, like, where he will basically mimic his, like, her mother's voice. And it's like, wow. I mean, like, you just want to give her a hug, like, when she is being put through that. And it's like, holy shit. And then when it gets to the third act of the movie, it's just like, wow. That's where I'm like, this is gonna go either whoa. Even I was even afraid for Sydney when it came down to that showdown between her and the killer. Like, no. I was like on the edge of my seat. Like, then I look back on the movie and I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that the first time I watched it? And but yeah, I mean, like, Sydney knew what she was doing. But yeah, I mean, like, I felt like this movie ended the franchise. I don't care for Scream 4. Fuck Scream 4. I'm not even gonna touch that. It's shit. There's my quick review on Scream 4. It is shit. Don't want to sniff it ever again. And the Scream TV series, no thank you. I mean, if you love the Scream TV series, then, you know, that's cool, but no thank you. I'll pass. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is where it ends. There is no more Scream for me after that. And I don't know. But yeah, with that all being said, I felt like it was an awesome conclusion, and it was a pretty good thing. And I have to say, I'm glad that it did touch base on, like, how did Randy, you know, like, how was he actually killed? Like, oh, okay, he lost his virginity. Like, he broke one rule that he knows that he shouldn't break. Oh, man. I mean, like, but I get it. He's not like, I mean, it's just the fact that you would think that he would survive through the whole trilogy because he's the expert. You know, like, he knows what you should not do, what you shouldn't do, and whatever. Even though he was provoking the killer in the second movie, that's basically what got him killed. But he says that in that video that they watched, that, yeah, I probably shouldn't have slept with that girl. But yeah, with that all being said, this was an awesome conclusion, and it gets, it gets 4 chair spins out of 5. So here we go. 4 solid motherfucking chair spins. So here they go. 1, 2, 3, 4 epic motherfucking chair spins. And I love that this movie came out after the holidays, while the first 2 came out around the holidays. Like, I mean, like, I would have aimed for, like, fall, you know, like September, October-ish. That's just me. But yeah, I mean, I guess my countdown to Halloween is over until I come up with another movie franchise to decide, you know, the review. But until then, I think it's going to be done for this year. I might save it for next year. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed my review for Scream, the Scream trilogy, make sure you thumb up the video and click subscribe if you're new to the channel, and click the notification bell so you can be updated on my latest videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, y'all.